Hey everybody, and I haven't posted anything like this in a long time, but this movie requires me to do this, and this is just straight up, just finished seeing this movie, just my kind of thoughts and everything. So I don't know how long this is going to be. Hopefully, it's not super long. Um, but I just came back from seeing Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. You probably already knew that though by the caption that's up there, and okay, the first thing I'm going to say when it comes to this thing is that I knew exactly what I was getting into. Okay, I knew that I wasn't going to get a good movie. I just already, but what I kept saying to everybody, and hi Zach, it's good to see you too. Um, let's see, he's hanging out. And the thing is that I just didn't know what type of bad movie was I going to get. Am I going to get the bad movie that is just bad? Like it's just really bad and there's no redeeming qualities about it. And it's going to be boring and I'm not going to have fun with it. Oh God, why did I do this? Why did I go see this? Why did I pay this money for this? Is that the type of bad movie I'm going to get? Or is it going to be a so bad it's good movie? Is it going to be so funny, so ridiculous, over the top, and knows it's bad and is just playing to that? Is it going to be too serious? Now, this company that made this movie, it made another movie over the holidays about a Christmas tree that was a serial killer, and it ended up being way too serious for what it was. It could have been a lot more lighthearted, or could have had funny moments, and it just was bad. And that's what was really worrying me about this movie. Is am I going to get the same type of movie? Are we going to have the same thing that with that? And what I can say, and because somebody wants his attention right now, is that the movie. This is the problem with doing this downstairs. The movie itself, it doesn't fall into either of those categories of so bad that it's just bad that I just can't stand it, to so bad it's good that oh my god I had so much fun watching it. It's just bad. It's just in there, and it definitely is. I know a lot of people are going to say this, and they're probably talking about it, and yada, yada, yada. And I think some people are really going to like this movie. They're going to really enjoy this movie and think this is just top notch stuff. But it's definitely just a bad movie. I just think that it feels like a cash grab. It definitely is, oh, this thing, it's, Winnie the Pooh has gone into public domain, so anybody can use this title and can just make a random thing that's Winnie the Pooh based, and oh my god, wouldn't it be funny if it was a horror thing and we really stuck it to the people out there and we try to do this. Now, maybe it's not that. Maybe it's not exactly that. Maybe they just were like, okay, yeah, we're gonna get to this and we're gonna do that type of thing, and it's just going to be, we're gonna make something that's gonna be good. Yeah, and it's just not. I mean, the budget's not there. The the masks for Piglet and Winnie are just terrible. But the thing is that there is plenty of blood. There's not enough honey though. Needs a lot more honey. But there's definitely plenty of blood in this movie, and some of the kills go from good to pretty fantastic to what the hell? Like why are we getting that? And the intro of the movie is like all animated and it tells you what the story is. And I'm gonna say this now. This is gonna be spoilers because I feel like I can't really do this movie justice unless I'm actually talking about spoilers when we're talking about this movie. So get ready to be spoiled on certain things, especially the plot of it. And is this a movie that you should go see? I think if you're interested in seeing it, go see it. Now the problem is that it's only available for tonight, right? At least over here. This is the only night that this is going to play. I don't know if this is going to be a Terrifier 2 situation where all of a sudden they're going to be like, oh, we're just going to put it into theaters because so many people want to see it. No, because this thing was so hyped up. And for one of these events in a long time on a fucking Wednesday, it was packed in there. It had quite a bit of people in there. The theater was almost completely full, which is crazy for a movie like this. And I think it's because of the word of mouth. And I think some people are going to talk about it, but I think everybody's just so interested into what it could possibly be that it's one of those things. And what I didn't get is I did get enjoyment out of this because I laughed quite a bit while watching this movie, and I laughed for the wrong reasons. I just laughed because it was so stupid. where there are the people like, I'm the only one in the theater laughing. Even the people I'm with, they're not laughing. But after a while, I think people really got into that and started laughing at how ridiculous some things really were. And that really made it enjoyable for quite a bit of people. And like I said, if this is a movie that you're seeing with a bunch of friends and you're sitting around and you're just fucking making fun of the movie the entire time, I think this is a fantastic movie to do that with. If you're really going to try to take it serious and go with it, it's not going to be what you expect it to be, in my personal opinion. Now, there are really terrible editing mistakes in this movie. Absolutely terrible editing in this movie. Where, like, there's a scene where there's one of the girls. See, okay, so before I go into the scenes and stuff, let's just talk about the story. Let's just say, because the story is fucking nonsense. Okay, the way the trailer makes it seem, the generalized story is that, the people of 100 Acre Wood, Winnie the Pooh and Eeyore and Owl and Rabbit. They're and no Tigger, because Tigger, he's still copyrighted enough that they can't use him. But they're not just animals that are out there. They're actually like mutants. Okay, they're half animal and half human, and they meet Christopher Robin, and Christopher Robin, being a young kid, falls in love with them and says he's going to stay with them forever. But then he decides that no, I need to go and be a college graduate. I need to become a doctor. And so I have to leave all these fuckers behind and have them out there. And then because of that, they start to starve because Christopher Robin was feeding the wild animals and they relied upon him for food. And food was scarce in the 100 Acre Wood, which is denoted by a really shitty sign, by the way. And so because of that, they turn feral. They kill Eeyore and they eat Eeyore. And that transforms them into the, more animal than man type of people for the rest of this movie. And they did talk, but they also, because of this, they went mute. So that's why they don't talk in this movie. Okay, they could talk before, but they don't talk at all in this movie. And so you never see Bunny or Owl, or Rabbit or Owl. It'd be funny if you see Bunny, but no, you never see Rabbit or Owl in this movie. Except for during the little animated sequence. And then, the first kill is Christopher Robin's wife, because Christopher Robin goes back in there to go find them because he's like, I'm not crazy. I'm sorry, I'm not doing the accent good enough. Oh, I'm not crazy. Like, he's got a weird lisp to him, the actor that plays, or how he's doing the role. Like, he's not a native English speaker, and then he's not a native Brit. So he's trying to do a really terrible British accent, and it just does not work. It doesn't work at all. And then he's got his like wife there he's supposed to be like 28 or younger than that. And his wife looks like she's 42 and he looks like he's in his 30s. So he could probably pass, but she can't really pass. Anyway, so when they get back to there, and then, the craziness ensues with his wife getting killed, and then we're into the main meat of the movie. And all the main meat of the movie is, which is based upon the ending, it's really fucking stupid, is there are 6 girls, one that shows up late, and of course she's the first to die, and 5 others. One has had a traumatic experience where there's a stalker that's been going after her, and the stalker is really affecting her, so she decides she's going to go take a holiday with her friends. They're going to go out to the woods, the 100 Acre Woods over there, and they're going to try to reconnect with themselves and with nature without technology and everything. Of course, there's all the girls that are stereotypes, but you really don't get to know anybody. You don't get to know any of these characters. Even this girl with this trauma, you don't really get to know. It just gets right into everything once they get out there. And all they really are is fucking fodder. That's it. They're there to die. That's it. There is no other reason to have this type of story. There is no other reason to do anything else that's going on. They are there to just get killed by Winnie the Pooh and Piglet. Okay? Piglet with his fucking chains and taking off his chains like he's gonna get ready to power up like he's fucking Piccolo, and that's his training equipment that he's got out there. Or that he's some type of like West Coast rapper with his giant fucking chains and he's got to throw down, so he's got to take them off. It's just it's terrible. Okay. And so they've kidnapped Christopher Robin. They killed his wife. They burned his wife. And it looks like they maybe killed him, but they didn't actually kill him. And you see that they torture him. Winnie the Pooh and Piglet torture him using Eeyore's tail to whip him. And then they stick, one of the funniest fucking things that goes on is that, like, he's hanging, he's been whipped, and then here comes Winnie the Pooh and puts his dead wife's corpse right next to him, like her burned up fucking corpse. It's fucking ridiculous. It's so goddamn funny. But really, it comes down to the kills. Are the kills any good in this movie? Like I said, they run the gamut. And I really was worried because in the beginning, they kind of cut away, and then some of the other kills they really do show, and there are actually some good ones that go through there. So the first one that happens is the girl that's lost, and this is the dumbest one in the fucking film. Not in terms of her getting killed, but in terms of the editing, because she's lost out there in the middle of nowhere, and there's two things that I wonder that maybe that happened. So the first one, she's lost and she calls her friends and they've all put their cell phones away because they're going to connect back with nature. And of course, there's the one that's like, ew, you have to take my phone away. And then she's addicted to Instagram and blah, 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 blah. Like, oh God, this fucking stereotype. So she calls her friends. And she does it, and she leaves a message, and she's like, hey, I'm out here, I think I'm lost, which is, again, in the day of GPS and Google Maps and everything like that, you wouldn't be lost. You put in the goddamn address, you just let it go. You know, how do you not know where you're going to go when you have a fucking smartphone? But, okay, I'll give it that. Whatever. You put it in there, fine. So, she's out there, she calls her friends, leaves a message, and then it jump cuts to the evening. Like, I'm missing a piece of the film here. Like, I'm missing a giant section of the film. Like, there should be a card that says, insert cut here, right? Because it cuts, and she's on the phone again, and she's getting off the phone, and Winnie the Pooh is chasing her. Like, when did we get to this? When did, she's calling somebody, we didn't even see Pooh, and then all of a sudden, here he is chasing her, and she's trying to call somebody, but was it supposed to be that she was going to be lost first in the dark and they had to reshoot it? And so it goes out there. And then she runs to the barn to try to run away from it. And then there's a scene too with European hillbillies and some other people and other things that are out there. But she goes out there and she tries to hide. And of course, Pooh finds her. And when Pooh finds her, then he smashes her head against a wood chipper, but not before just randomly ripping off her shirt. Okay, I'm cool with boobs. I'm cool with boobs in movies and everything. You know, I'm a dude and boobs, whatever. But, it doesn't make any sense. And then the next one of them to be killed is, of course, the Instagram girl, which I fucking called. I was like, I bet you she's second. And then I didn't call the other ones. I didn't really know. But I'm like, she has to be the next kill, in this movie. Or at least the first one of the ones that were all together for them to die. So... and she's in the pool in her bikini, and that's all we get. And then we get another bad cut in there, and this is just one that annoys me. It's more of a goof, where she's got her phone in landscape, or not landscape, portrait mode, and she's getting ready to take a picture, and then when she takes the picture, it's in fucking landscape mode in her hand, and then when it cuts back to her, it's back in fucking portrait. It's just consistency, And then they try to play with, the flashing lights and Pooh and Piglet slowly creeping up, but it's not even that good of a thing. And then she gets chloroformed and pig-tied, and you're like, huh? And then you're like, wait, there's one person, if there's one person in this movie whose boobs that you should see, it's the fucking chick in the bikini that is the spinner girl that has the big boobs. If you're gonna go for boobs, don't just randomly have the boobs of somebody that you don't even know. You can't even connect to the character. Only thing that you heard from her is that she's going to be late. Oh, I'm 2 hours behind. That's it. When they're on a car ride. And then the small fucking Fiat type of car that sits 5. It must be a fucking clown car with the amount of people that pop out of it for the next fucking scene. It's so goddamn ridiculous. So they go, and they hog tie her and they put her on the ground, and then they take the other girl's car and run over her head. And actually, a really well done scene to an extent. The kill is cool, but the blood that they do is so fake CGI. And then, they even use it a little bit to mask her face, so you can't quite tell what's going on. But it's mostly just her standing there with something kind of on top of her. And then blood, I think it's just masking something else in the background so that they could do this kill. There's also the scene, like I said, where they're torturing Christopher Robin, and you get to see a little bit that's back there, and they're pissed off that these girls girls are in their area. You know, they don't like horny single girls in their area. They want to just like there to torture Christopher Robin. And so, you know, then it's about killing everyone one by one. You have the two girls that are together, where one makes the heart on the bed. And I could have sworn, okay, everybody else with me was saying that she had it done before, but it sounded to me like she did it herself before, but this is the first time they were ever getting to the cabin. I'm probably wrong, but if I'm not, then how the hell she did when everybody's like, oh, this is the first time I'm so amazed with this place. Anyway, and of course the girlfriend doesn't, she likes it, but she thinks it's over the top. And then, you know, basically they find the dead body, her and one of her other friends, the girl because we have to learn this little bit of a backstory, and we even get a flashback of when the stalker like came into her house and tried to undress her, and this is trauma that she's dealing with. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to shit, because at one point she thinks Winnie the Pooh is the fucking guy that was stalking her before. Her friend, and by the way, she just found her friend with her head fucking crushed and her eyeball all popped out and just flattened dead on the ground by a fucking car. Yet, oh, the stalker's coming after me. What about my poor friend is fucking dead? I understand you had trauma to go through, but guess what? She dead. You're not. She dead. You not. She dead. You not. I don't understand the motivation with that. So then you get this terrible fucking, like, they all have to figure out ways to split up, because stalker chick, she's got a gun, so they're gonna go get the gun. The couple decides to get a hammer and a knife from the kitchen to defend themselves from Pooh, but they end up getting trapped inside the pool room inside the house. And in another one of the dumbest kills, it's brutal, but it's fucking stupid, because Piglet isn't that fucking tall. And he's like, when they get to him, because basically he knocks out the one girlfriend that has kind of a unibrow. But then the other girl is like, she goes and falls into the pool just dumbly. And when she falls into the pool, he like goes to kill the girlfriend that's on the ground, and she's like, no, get away from her. And so he puts down the sledgehammer that he's got, and then he takes his chains and he starts whipping the water and trying to get her. And then it's like, then he goes and grabs the sledgehammer, goes into the water to chase her, to kill her. And he's just like, like he randomly hitting the water. And he's so short that he would have, once he starts hitting the deep end of this pool, he would have not been able to stand up. And it even looks like the actor is struggling to stand up in a couple of the scenes. But eventually, when the girlfriend wakes up from her little fall on the ground, she sees Piglet smash her girlfriend's head in with the hammer while she's in the pool. And then Piglet like kidnaps her. And the other two, they run out, they go rescue the girl, who gets the shit slapped out of her. And then we finally get some of the honey, where we see Pooh eating the honey, and it's just dripping from his face, and it's disgusting. And the mask barely moves as he's like, and then it's all like dripping like honey and just coming from his fucking face. It's terrible. It's kind of disgusting, to be honest with you. Anyway, so he slaps the shit out of her, and literally after that, the friends arrive, they rescue her, and she gets out like the easiest way. And then they run into this girl they ran into in the beginning of the film that was with her boyfriend inside the same shop, the same gas station, petrol station, whatever you want to call it, because it's all filled in England. And so she's tied up in the dumbest tie, like they literally get it off of her so quick, and all she really had to do was like lean her head back, and the rope around her neck would have gone to thing, and then all had to do pull her fucking arms out. She doesn't even have to be Superman to do this stuff to get out of it. Anyway, so that lady steals the gun from them and tries to shoot Piglet, shoots one shot wildly to get their attention, but then there's no more bullets in the fucking gun. She had one shot. That's all she did. She brought a gun with one fucking bullet. And so she gets killed by by Piglet, because Pooh holds her down, like knocks her down, and then pours honey all over her face. And then Piglet, who I guess never gets any fucking honey, goes at that thing like he's never eaten a day in his life and eats her fucking face. But you don't really see anything. He's just like hunched over her. So that's another person that's dead. And then they all try to escape from Pooh, but the one girlfriend that survives, she stays behind, and she kills Piglet by bashing his head in with the sledgehammer, while she ties him up to the same thing that the gas station girl was tied to. And when he dies, he lets out a yelp, which, now signals Pooh. And it's just like, and then he ends up killing her, and he gives her like the old Michael Myers, where he takes a knife but shoves it through, her neck. And my friend's brother, so Joey, he's all, I guess she doesn't have a gag reflex, because he just keeps shoving it back there and then pins her to the post with a knife through her face. So the girl with the glasses, the nerdy girl, and the main girl, they're running out. Well, they also run into, I should say before that, they do run into Christopher Robin. They do rescue him. He's got all the lashes on his back. Almost looks like they've lashed a pentagram into his back. And he's like, no, go save the other girl and leave me be, because I have to atone for whatever I fucking did. Because I grew up and left Piglet and them here and Pooh, and they turned feral because of me, which I guess he's kind of right when you think about it. And so, and I'm just basically going through the whole fucking movie. Fuck it. And so when they run away, they run into the people from the gas station, like the hillbilly type of guys. And it looks like they got Ronnie James Dio there. They got fucking Phil Collins. They got Lemmy from Motorhead. They've got Phil Anselmo. Like they're all there. Like all these other things. They're not really Phil Collins. I'm trying to figure out what the other guy is kind of like. He's more like Alice Cooper. That's what it really is. So we got Dio, Alice Cooper, Lemmy from Motorhead. Rest in peace, Dio and Lemmy. I didn't know this was your last film. But they go and they try to jump Pooh when he shows out. I keep saying like just Pooh. Should be like Winnie the Pooh, but they all only call him Pooh in the movie. So they try to jump Pooh. And when they try to jump Pooh, and they do beat the crap out of him, but Pooh just takes it like a man, and then just like, in one of the most brutal ones that they did, he like slashes at Dio and rips half of his face off. And so you see it where he's got like, he looks like Evil Ash, to be honest with you. He does kind of look like Evil Ash. Now he's turned into fucking Bruce Campbell. Dio to Bruce Campbell, right? And so you have him, Pooh kills all the other guys, and then he ends up like, she tries to run him down with her truck, and of course she runs over him, but he's able to just grab onto the back of the truck in some weird fashion. Like there's a thump, if you thump, like that happens, but you don't get anything out of it. And so eventually they crash, throwing him off because he gets on top of the truck. And then when she wakes up, her friend is being pulled out of the car, and Pooh rips off her head, and you don't get to see that. That's an effect I wish they had paid for so that you could actually see, even if it's in the distance, just to, stretch it out and rip it off. It would have been a lot cooler than it is. But now her friend's dead, and then she's about to be killed by Pooh and about to be stabbed. And then here comes Christopher Robin to save the day, crashes the truck into the truck he's driving into their truck, and pins Pooh in between it. And they start to try to get away, but of course Pooh wakes up, and then he ends up catching up to them because she's really injured, and Christopher Robin's injured too and can't really carry much longer. And he grabs her, he's taking the knife to her, and Christopher Robin begs for her, says, yes, this is all my fault, take me instead, yada, yada, yada. And Pooh speaks for the first time, and he almost sounds like Winnie the Pooh, like Jim Cummins in this bitch. And he's like, you left us. And then he fucking kills her, and then it takes her 2 minutes to fucking die. She literally, like, they hold on and they hug, and she's spitting up blood, but she doesn't die. She just stands there. We watch them hug, and eventually he lays her, and even when he lays her on the ground, she's still like, it's dumb. It's so dumb. And then that's the end of the movie. So he runs off. Pooh is standing there with all the fire and stuff behind him. And at the end of the credits, it says, Winnie the Pooh will return. Like this is fucking James Bond or something like that. So that was the whole movie. It's stupid. It's dumb. It's major spoilers. I'm sorry. That should probably have gone up in the beginning. Hopefully I'll remember to put that in there. But I wanted something more. I wanted this to be so bad it's good. And like I said, it's just bad. But it's got its entertaining parts. Like the kills aren't bad. The story just, it makes no sense. And it would be different if it was really about, you know, because Winnie the Pooh has this like vengeance against Christopher Robin in this because he left them. And it would have been much better if there was a bigger focus on that, and that Christopher Robin, and maybe it was him and his friends that went out there like, ooh, I'm gonna go back home and show you guys, and then like, remember the things, I'll show you where I found Pooh, and maybe they didn't believe him, and then they started getting off one by one, and they didn't believe was good. Like, there's so many things that they could have done that would have been interesting or cool, but they didn't do it, and just they went with a generic like slasher and nonsensical characters and a nonsensical story, and we're just there to kill people. Like, that was the whole theme of the thing, was just like, these girls, and having this background of the stalker, it doesn't come to fruition. All it is that she believes that Pooh is her stalker. And if they had made a connection like that, that would have been cool. But they show you a backstory where it's not Pooh, it's some other random guy. So it doesn't make sense that's even done like that. So I don't know. I wish things could have been better. I wish things were a little more, they made a little more sense in the overall arch of this new Winnie the Pooh universe that they're doing. So I'm gonna give Blood and Honey 2 no bloods, no honeys. No, we won't do that. I'm gonna give this it's definitely a 2 out of a popped eyeball out of 5. 2 popped eyeballs out of 5. That's where I was gonna 2 bloods, no honeys. Because there wasn't a whole lot. There was blood, but there wasn't enough honey in this movie for me. But yeah, it's definitely 2 eyeballs out of 5, 2 popped eyeballs out of 5. It misses the mark. I knew it was gonna miss the mark. I just had this feeling from seeing the trailers and everything. But it misses the mark of being a so bad it's good. If I had to put it, if it just went a little more over the top or leaned a little bit more into the cheese, I probably would have given this a 4 out of 5, to be honest, because there's enough in it, but it just takes itself a little too seriously, and when it does that, it just loses it. It becomes laughable, but not laughable good, just laughably bad. So that's it. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. If you watched all the way through, I'm sorry that I had to go through the full movie. I just really needed to talk about it. I didn't realize I'm going to take almost 30 minutes to do this, but hey, you get me at my finest for this type of thing. So make sure that you guys check out the episodes of the Terrible Terror podcast. There is, at the time of this release, there is an episode on X. Go check it out. And also check me out over there on Twitch every Monday and Tuesday, and possibly now on Sundays, twitch.tv/Terrible Terrors. So that's it for now, and we will catch you next time. Make sure you take care of yourselves and each other, and watch out for Winnie the Pooh.